So it is exam season, and I know a lot of people out there are probably doing GCSEs, A-levels, university exams. I haven't yet started my exams, but my first one's on Saturday, so wish me luck. I'm gonna die. But I have been through GCSEs and A-levels, so I basically wrote a little list on my phone of things I hate about exams. Number 1, they test your memory, not your ability. Now this one is, I think, one of the biggest points about exams that really annoys me. So in some ways I'm talking a bit more about science exams than sort of Englishy, essay-based exams, because I know that things like English, they are literally testing you on your ability to write English. But for science subjects, like I'm doing, there is so much about learning. Like, it started off at GCSE where it was just so learning based. You thought it became more applied at A-level, and then you get to uni and it almost goes back to being like completely memory based. It is like, if I had a photographic memory, I could easily get first in these exams. I get why they're so memory based. Like, it's a good skill to have a good memory and to lay down those facts in your brain so that you can just kind of refer to them in the future. But having to learn so much in such a short period of time is so stupid. Number 2 is, so this is more in terms of A-levels, it's just the fact that if you even miss one grade by like 1 mark, you can miss out on a place at uni, which is so stupid. Like, you're not any less clever than anyone else. It is literally 1 mark or 1 grade. And for some people, for example, they've been given an offer of AAB, for example, and I know someone who got an A star AC and didn't get into that university. Like, they actually did better than the grade boundary for 1 subject, but they still didn't get in. Number 3 is this. I particularly found this with A-level biology, which I did. Now, there is a lot about learning the mark scheme. You can't escape the fact that A-levels are essentially learning the mark scheme. I remember in A-levels I was revising and I just got to a point where I stopped looking over my notes and I just said, what is even the point, and started doing past papers. And it was a much more productive way of revising, because I was actually learning what I needed to learn to get marks rather than learning the information. Now this annoys me so much because I was doing so badly at the beginning of like AS level year, because I was writing all the right things, they just weren't in the mark scheme. So I wasn't getting very good grades, even though I was writing the right thing, which this does change a bit at university. Generally they're more lenient at university, so it does get better, but it's just A-levels are so stupid in that way. Number 4 is the stress. So everyone gets stressed before exams. It's just not an accurate representation of how good you are, because you'll go into that exam feeling super stressed, which means you'll probably forget some things that you do actually know. Like, I've come out of so many exams thinking like, oh, I should have written that and I should have written that, and you know the answers, it's just the stress means you don't write them down, or you don't do as well as expected, basically. Number 5 is kind of specific to my university degree at the moment. I have a multiple choice paper, which you might think is easy, but it is negatively marked and it is stupidly hard. But what I find about these multiple choice questions is you can say narrow it down to 2, and then you might think, well, I think this is the answer, but the second answer could also be correct. And you sort of start to question everything you know about that subject, and it's just that kind of like, you second guess everything, like you're questioning it all the time. Number 6 is, this annoys me so much, is when other people either say, oh, I've done so much revision, I revised for like 12 hours yesterday, or I didn't go to sleep last night because I was revising, which stresses me out because I'm thinking I haven't done anywhere near that much revision, and you know, they're going to do way better than me. It's just not good for your health to revise that much. You need to like take breaks. But there are also the people who are like, oh, I've barely revised, like, oh, I'm gonna fail, and I haven't revised since like 5 days ago, or I haven't looked over this topic in months. You know, it's those people that really annoy me, because you know they secretly are stressing, you know they're secretly revising loads, it's just they don't want to make it out like they are, and if they actually haven't, then they're just being lazy. Number 7 is people telling you how to revise. So around GCSE level, I was getting so many people telling me, oh, here are some suggestions of how to revise, and everyone was saying you can't revise by just reading your notes. Now, I am a visual learner basically. I'm sort of halfway between visual and I think it's kinesthetic, which is like doing things. So that means I either have to see something to learn it, or I have to do something to learn it. So I come up with like little rhymes or songs or sort of memorable phrases or something, and I repeat them over and over again. But because I'm quite good at just reading over notes and learning them, it really, really annoyed me when teachers were saying, oh, you can't just revise by reading. Yes, I can actually. That is my style of revision. I know it doesn't work for some people, and yeah, I get that they can tell people that you need to find your way of revising, but don't tell people to not revise a certain way, because that might be how they revise best. So if you're watching this and you're struggling with exams and you're like, oh, I can't find the best revision method, try them all, see what works best for you. Do not listen to teachers or anyone who's saying, oh, you can't revise this way, because you might be able to. It might be your style of revision. Number 8 is something I experienced last year with A-levels or A2s. So we had a ridiculous paper where basically we were tested, the whole paper was testing us on something that I'd written about 3 lines of notes on. It was such a minor topic, yet they decided to spread it out across the whole paper. Now, I understand not testing you on absolutely everything, it's virtually impossible to do that. It's more just the fact, why would you test someone on something that is such a minor topic and it's not even that relevant? Like, I came out of so many exams last year being like, oh, I'm so upset that all this information that's in my head I couldn't use. Number 9 is vague questions and sort of the fact that everyone has like a different interpretation of some questions. Okay, so some questions are very specific. There is no sort of other option, basically. There's only one right answer. But a lot of questions, particularly at university, I'm finding, are very vague and you can interpret them in multiple different ways. There are so many questions where I've said, oh, well, this is how I would interpret it, so I would pick this answer. And then the lecturer goes, I can see your point, but actually this is the right answer. And with sort of short answer type questions, they allow you to explain your answer. But with multiple choice questions, there's just one right answer and you can't use your own words to describe why you picked that or how you interpreted the question. And I think this kind of applies to like GCSEs and A-levels as well. It's just so many vague questions, different interpretations, and there's only one right answer and you don't even get the opportunity to explain yourself. So finally, number 10 is the pressure and expectations of exams. So throughout the whole of sort of GCSEs and A-levels, I felt such a great pressure to do really well. And like there were people saying, oh, you know, you're quite clever, you'll do really well. You know, there's just such like a great pressure to do well, to do, you know, to meet whatever expectation that your friends, your family, your teachers, anyone has of you. And I think really like the biggest message that I could tell anyone doing exams right now is do your best, like work as hard as you can and try the best that you can, but whatever you come out with, don't be disappointed if it isn't what other people expect of you. Be disappointed if you personally know that you could have done better, But I think as long as you know you've tried your hardest, you've done your best, that is the key thing really. And that's like the key message that I can give to anyone doing exams, is just do your best. Yeah, so I hope you like those 10 things I hate about exams, and I'll see you soon. Bye!